Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do a positive video for you guys. Because a few of these lately, I've been a bit negative. I've discussed negative stuff, things that upset me with the cons in the industry, stuff that I do get passionate about. But I think the thing that we have to remember, this is about fitness. This is about self-betterment. We can't be about negative stuff all the time. It really can't. And one of the things I've noticed is that a lot of people have chimed in since my physique has improved. I've been getting leaner, actually been working on my arms, all of this stuff. I've gotten a lot of compliments, and I mean a lot of compliments, both fans, private messages, public messages on my different media. People have absolutely noticed. Definitely clients have said, hey, can we talk more about diet when they see what I'm doing? And I'm like, yeah, sure. But also, what I thought was interesting, I've had at least a couple people come through and go, I've previously been a Blaha hater, and I'm not a hater now. You stepped up, you look good now, you're continuing to work on it, so I'm not going to be a hater anymore. And that is a shocking thing to me, because what is it that people say? You can't shut haters up. I've always said that. You cannot shut a hater up. I have said stuff before, tongue in cheek, to the people who hate me, that even if I suddenly magically developed a beautiful aesthetic physique, was lean, got up and did something like selflessly got injured, running into a burning orphanage, dragging out children and puppies and everything to save their lives out of a burning building, and then got hurt while doing it, and then got a bunch of money and gave it all to charities or whatever, that they would still hate on me, right? Because that's almost what it seems like. It's almost irrational. But I've come to realize that only a handful of people are really like that out there in the world. That I think most people, when they're critical of anyone, if the person actually steps up and changes what they're critical of, I think most people do change their perceptions of you. And I mean, it's the same with some of the people out there who I haven't liked. I mean, I have to be willing to admit that if they changed a lot of the stuff they did, I would absolutely change my opinions. And we have to be that way. Have to be that way. But let's talk a little bit about what I'm doing with this, because there's some confusion. And what's interesting to me is that I've seen a few people who they come through and they have very negative things to say about it. Several regular posters. Oh, a person shouldn't get that lean. It's not healthy. Shouldn't care at all about what you look like. And it's like, look, these are sentiments that I echoed at one time in my life. But there's also a point where we go, that's not a well-balanced view. I don't think that is the most mature viewpoint. I really don't. And when I look at that and when I think about my own viewpoints on that, I go, that was probably a little silly and a little over the top, right? A little bit. I mean, that's a fair statement. So, I mean, I would look at that and go, all right, we know that, I mean, a lot of it's because I really disliked the whole death cult of competitive bodybuilding, and I've seen people get hurt. I've seen people die as a result of it. I've really disliked some of it. So I've always kind of had that stance of wanting to push people away from it. But by that same token, it's not all bad. And it's not bad any person. We can't just go, oh, a man should never want to look good in any way. Hey, come on. I think most people want to look good to some extent, right? I think that's a normal human thing. We judge a book by its cover. Okay? We're always told growing up, don't judge a book by its cover, but we do. We absolutely do. All of us, we judge a person by if they're obese. We judge them by how attractive they are. We judge them by their hygiene, the clothes they wear, the car they drive, the way that they speak. We judge a book by its cover. It's human nature. I'm not saying it's always right, because in a lot of cases it's not. A lot of times we get it wrong. But a lot of times it is accurate. So I would look at that and go, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with wanting to look? What's wrong with wanting to be well balanced? Why can't we have all these things? You know, because we've been thrown into this dogmatic idea that we can only have one or the other. But there are guys out there who look great who deadlift 700 pounds. Okay? They're out there. There are people who are multifaceted in their fitness. And I look at that and go, that should be inspiring. That's inspiring to me. That's one of the reasons I've stepped back and said, well, hey, I'm wrong. We need to be more well-rounded. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good and to be strong. Now, people are like, your training looks so heavily geared towards aesthetics now, though. Yeah, that's why I'm making rapid changes. People are like, yeah, you've changed pretty quick. Well, that's obviously a factor. The nutrition, other stuff as well. Those are all factors, of course. But the training. But the thing is, it's not like I can't get strong again. Look, every lift that you guys have seen me hit on camera in the last few years is purely a matter of gaining muscle. Okay? I can go back and get those lifts later. As long as I gain the muscle, I have the muscle mass, even if I get leaner, even if my biceps get bigger. As long as I still have the glutes and the hamstrings and the pecs and the tricep strength, all that stuff, I can go back and peak back up to those lifts later. It's not like, oh, the strength is gone because you did a bunch of bodybuilding training. Well, if I gained muscle and I worked with progressive overload and I worked on weak points and I continued to build the muscles involved in those lifts, you know, my hamstrings and glutes and everything, why wouldn't I be able to come back and bench 365 with a pause later while leaner, lighter, and looking better? Why can't I pull 635 again? Why can't I squat in the 500s? Like, do people really think that that's how it works? Because I get leaner for a while, lose a bunch of body fat, and build some other muscle, more balance my physique out? Work on my biceps, right? Gotta get those guns. Curls for the girls. That because I do those things that we can't still get strong again? Well, what about all the guys who compete in bodybuilding and powerlifting? I mean, what about my bro Nikola? I did a thing with him. He's in his 40s. Guy looks freaking phenomenal. He reps 315 on the bench. He squats 550 with a high bar. He deadlifts over 600 pounds. Of course it can be done. He's been training his whole life. It's 30 years under the barbell. But it's not an either or. We can do these things. And there's nothing wrong with us saying, I want to be well-rounded. I want multiple things. Hey, and it's not an insult to anyone else out there because someone else wants to do that. Because some of the aesthetics guys are like, oh, I don't care, you shouldn't be pursuing the strength and the aesthetics. They almost feel attacked. Strength guys, they feel attacked when another strong guy says, I'm going to work on getting aesthetic. Work on my physique. They feel attacked, but it's not an attack, guys. It's just other people wanting to be the best versions of themselves. And really, okay, this comes back to epiphanies I've had and things I've said in the past. The way I try to live my life more and more, just leaving the world a better place for me having been in it. So if we all want to be genuinely good human beings, we should be supported when other people are legitimately working on being the best versions of themselves. We shouldn't knock that. We should do our best to support it. And I'm going to push that, you know. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be perfect on it. We all make mistakes. We are all human. I'm a flawed human just like the rest of you. Because I'm up here on a screen doesn't mean I'm not. You know, we're flawed. Human people are not perfect, none of us. I'm going to get it wrong sometimes. All we can do is try to correct the ship. And actually, me even having these discussions is part of that, saying, hey, you know, I wasn't really right. I don't think I was right. Let's discuss it, and admit I didn't have the best approach. I didn't have the best philosophy on that. I want to do better. Okay, I can do better than I did. I think all of us need to be able to do that. We need to be able to step back and go, I got this wrong. I'm going to take a more mature approach to it moving forward. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.